girls without fathers hit puberty 1 year earlier, eh? That's a real biological mystery, but here's a hypothesis. So imagine that you're bereft of male companionship and productivity and protection. And maybe that's because your culture doesn't have enough men. Sometimes that happens after wars, for example. Or maybe you're just in an economic niche or a social niche where you're unfortunate, So now, why would you develop a year early from a puberty perspective? Well, the answer is, well, one of the ways that women can attract male attention, obviously, and therefore, in principle, companionship, protection, productivity, all of that might come along with a real relationship, is by being sexually attractive and available. And so if there's a dearth of males in the local environment, then early puberty could easily be a way of increasing the probability of catching a mate early enough so you don't starve to death, let's say. Okay, so then imagine that there's a psychological equivalent to that. And this is where that waif-like femme fatale archetype might kick in. And so if you're appealingly, vulnerably beautiful and available, and then you have that magic that can go along with that when it's transformed into something truly archetypal, which Marilyn did extraordinarily well. There was a bit of a little girl about her. She had a very girly voice, and that's how she sang. And she had a kind of innocent, naive provocativeness that was amplified, paradoxically, by her overt sexuality. And so she had some of the appeal of a helpless child and some of the appeal of a truly mature woman. And that can be a very deadly combination. And I think the fact that it's a deadly combination is also a kind of adaptation. So you can imagine that girls who are abused might turn to that pattern of seductive behavior, because if they turn on the charm full throttle in that manner, it increases the probability that even in their desperate economic straits, they might be able to attract a male. And of course, with Marilyn, that was elevated right to the point where she became literally the poster girl for that approach.